Good morning. This is Kathleen Clow with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Tuesday, August 12th, 2025. The fire potential impacts across the next few days include abnormally hot and dry conditions where we expect to see temperatures about 7 degrees above normal for this time of year through Wednesday and increasing storm potential through Thursday. As high pressure continues to impact the basin, we expect hot and dry conditions today with high temperatures in the triple digits across much of Nevada, including the Sierra Front and western central Idaho, and temperatures in the mid to high 90s elsewhere across the basin. This area of hot and dry conditions expands further east to cover the majority of the basin on Wednesday, bringing triple digit temperatures to northern and southern Utah, western Nevada, and the Las Vegas and Arizona strips. We also expect to see some mostly dry thunderstorms across the Arizona Strip and central Nevada, and mixed wet and dry storms across central Idaho with an additional high wind risk across eastern central Idaho and western Wyoming. We expect winds over 30 miles per hour. On Thursday, max temps decrease, but the risk for mixed wet and dry thunderstorms increases in coverage to include central and eastern Nevada, all of Utah, and western Wyoming. Radar estimates from the past 24 hours show no precipitation across the Great Basin, and satellite loop from yesterday afternoon into the evening shows little to no cloud cover across the basin and some smoke from the Beulah fire in northeastern Utah. In the past 24 hours, the Great Basin had 5 new starts for a total of 18 acres and a large fire growth of 610 acres. The past 3 days show no precipitation across the basin, and in the last 30 days, the Great Basin has received well below normal precipitation, except northwestern Nevada and sparse pockets in western and northern central Idaho, which have received above normal amounts of precipitation. ERC values remain on the rise across western Nevada and western Idaho, with values between the 70th and 80th percentile. The Sierra Front especially has seen a large increase in ERC values across the past week, with the majority of points above the 80th percentile and a few more point values in the 90 to 97th percentile across the southern Sierra Front. ERC values across the rest of the basin remain extremely high, above 97%, with possibly the most purple we've seen on the map since the creation of this product. Satellite from this morning shows clear skies across the basin and really no impacts there. Today, no smoke impacts across Idaho, with some light smoke impacts across Nevada. We'll see some heavier smoke impacts from the Dragon Bravo fire across the Arizona Strip. In central Utah, we'll see some smoke impacts from the Beulah and Monroe Canyon fires today. And southeastern Utah, we'll see some smoke impacts from the Lee fire in Colorado. For tomorrow, smoke impacts across southern Nevada and the Arizona Strip will return from those ongoing Southern California wildfires, and northern Utah will continue to see an impact from the Beulah fire, and southeastern Utah from that ongoing Lee fire in Colorado. And you can see that smoke kind of circling back around and impacting us greater tomorrow. No high risk triggers today. The southern Sierra Front is going to join the rest of the basin at that moderate risk, and the northern central Idaho will remain at that low risk as things continue to dry out. But really, today is just going to be another hot and dry day. You kind of see light winds, nothing major there. We'll be mostly dry again today with really no chance of precipitation. We'll see a little bit of precip chances kind of scattered around the basin. We're expecting maybe some nocturnal lightning across the Sierra Front tonight, but overall, not a huge concern there. Max temperatures will be even hotter than yesterday with triple digit temps from the Sierra Front and east across much of Nevada and the Arizona Strip, as well as in western Idaho. You can see that 101 value. 111 down in Vegas, and then mid to high 90s across the rest of the basin. So another hot day today. No wind concerns today, maybe some breezy 15 to 25 mile per hour winds across central Idaho and western Wyoming. There's a chance for some nocturnal lightning, like I mentioned, across the Sierra Front, where you're going to notice those kind of storm outflow signatures in pink and purple. And RH values across the basin are lower than yesterday and still remain critical in the single to low double digits, 6 to 8% down south, where we're expecting those high temperatures over 105. But overall, not really much of a wind concern today. Those gray areas are, winds less than 8 miles an hour. So just a dry, kind of hot day. On Wednesday, we've issued high risk for winds above 30 miles per hour across eastern central Idaho and western Wyoming, as well as a lightning risk across the southern Sierra Front to the northeast across central Nevada from expected mixed wet and dry thunderstorms. The majority of the basin is still going to remain at that moderate risk due to continued dry conditions, with the potential for some mixed but mostly dry storms across the Arizona Strip as well. And you can kind of see that precipitation signature tracking across central Nevada there in the green. There's still going to be a concern on Wednesday for those above average temperatures with mid to high 90s across the Great Basin and triple digits in northern Utah, western Nevada, the Las Vegas and Arizona strips, and the Utah Arizona border. But overall, less coverage of the triple digit temps, so a little tiny bit cooler. There's also an additional chance for some mostly dry thunderstorms across central Nevada, the Arizona Strip, and some parts of central Idaho, as well as western Wyoming. You can see those heavier precip signatures, but again, a lot of these are going to be mostly on the dry side. Totals will be very light, likely less than a tenth of an inch, and maybe a few pockets of up to 2/10, maybe some higher precip in these kind of green areas. We expect some heavier winds in those mostly dry thunderstorm outflows seen across central Nevada, the Nevada Utah Idaho border, and parts of the Arizona strips. You can see those little dots of purple and pink from those storm outflows. We additionally anticipate a risk for a larger area of high winds across eastern central Idaho and western Wyoming. We expect wind gusts between 30 and 40 miles per hour. RH values will be slightly higher than Tuesday in some areas across due to that storm coverage, but still lower in northern Utah where we expect those triple digit temps, so kind of around Salt Lake City, we're still in the 9 to 10% range. Overall, RH values still remain critically low and about 15% or less across most of the basin. On Thursday, we've issued again high risk for lightning across northeastern Nevada, the Arizona Strip, and southern central Utah due to the potential for mixed wet and dry thunderstorms. Conditions overall remain dry across the basin, and we'll continue to see those higher winds across central Idaho and western Wyoming. But you kind of see this storm potential tracking across the basin with some windier conditions. We'll see some relief from those triple digit temps on Thursday, and the basin will have high temperatures between the mid 80s and mid 90s, except the Vegas and Arizona strips and Colorado Utah border, which still remain hot and in the triple digits. Forecast precip shows that mixed storm potential across northeastern Nevada, all of Utah, the Arizona strip, a little bit of southeastern Idaho, and then western Wyoming, where we could see up to a few tenths of an inch of precip in sparse pockets, but still that kind of mixed wet and dry storm potential there. We're going to see some areas of 25 to 35 mile per hour winds across the Arizona Strip and southwestern Utah and portions of central Idaho, with additional areas of storm outflow winds in the pink and brown across Utah and western Wyoming from that storm potential. Minimum relative humidities will be higher across the basin and in the low teens to low 20s, so we'll get a little bit of recovery there following all of this storm activity. You can see 22% over the Monroe Canyon fire and about 32% over the Beulah fire. So we're getting a little bit of RH recovery, but still going to see some heavier winds likely on Thursday. Over the next 3 days, we expect to see light precip from the next couple of days of mixed storm potential, with central Nevada, central Utah, and western Wyoming seeing up to a tenth of an inch of accumulation, with sparse pockets of up to a quarter inch. But overall, pretty spotty precip coverage with those mixed wet and dry storms. On Friday, following the storm cycle, the Arizona Strip and southern Utah will move into that low risk category. They're going to see some higher RH values down there as well, with the rest of the basin remaining at moderate risk, except northern central Idaho, which is still also at that low risk. We're also tracking the potential for some precipitation across the basin, seen in black and green, as that band of moisture moves south and east, and possibly some breezier conditions across central Idaho as well. On Saturday, again, no high risk triggers. A few more central Utah zones will move to that low risk following the precip chances and higher RH. Again, a chance for some higher winds across central Idaho and western Wyoming with some storm potential across much of the basin as that low pressure system to the north inches closer. On Sunday, similar conditions are expected and dry air returns to the southern half of the basin, causing the Arizona Strip and southern Utah to move back into that moderate risk category. There is still some storm potential across northern Utah, Nevada, and central Idaho seen in the green. Similar conditions are expected on Monday, and a few zones in northern central Idaho move to low risk due to higher RH values and precipitation potential. Dry air remains over the rest of the basin, and we expect some higher winds on Monday as well, especially in western Nevada, with the possibility for some storms across the Arizona Strip. The next 7 days of precipitation show the chance for some higher precip amounts across the Arizona Strip and central Utah in the quarter to half inch range. Broken precip coverage across the rest of the basin, with portions of central Nevada, northern central Idaho, western Wyoming, and the rest of Utah receiving up to a tenth of an inch. The next 8 to 14 days show the chance for above normal temperatures across the basin, with the highest chance concentrated around northern Utah, western Wyoming, and eastern central Idaho. The precipitation outlook shows below normal precip across much of central Idaho, near normal precip across much of Nevada, northwestern Utah, and western Wyoming, and then the chance for above average precip across southeastern Nevada, the Arizona Strip, and Utah. That concludes today's fire potential briefing. Please check back tomorrow for the latest updates.